source transformation is useful when you want your complex circuit to get simpler. No? So that would mean just based from the topic, nor source transformation. So here, you're going to transform a source from a voltage source into a current source, or vice versa, no, current source into a voltage source. So in that way, you'll be able to simplify the circuit, no, and thereby you'll be able to get the equivalent resistances, no, of resistors that will be connected in series or parallel after transformation from voltage source excuse me, to current source, or from current source to voltage source. Okay, so that is what is expected in this topic. Right. So it says here that it is a tool for simplifying circuits. Okay, so your objective good is to simplify circuits. It is the process of replacing a voltage source, Vs, in series with a resistor. So ang requirement niya is that you need to have a voltage source that is in series with a resistor. Okay, so that you will be able to convert into a current source, Is, in parallel with the resistor, no, of the same value with that of the voltage source, no, connected in series. Okay, so you'll be able to transform vice versa, okay, from voltage to current and from current to voltage source. Okay, so now how do we do that? So it is also applicable to dependent sources, no, as long as there is a resistor that is connected in series with a dependent source for both dependent voltage source and resistor that is connected in parallel with a dependent current source. Okay, so there are two things to remember. First is the arrow of the current source. It is directed towards the plus terminal of the voltage source. So ito. So take note of this one and this one, so that every time you transform from voltage source to current source and current source to voltage source, you take note of the polarity of your voltage source and the direction of the arrow, no, in the current source where it is pointed. Okay, so source transformation is not possible when R is equals to 0 or R is equals to infinity. Okay, so take note that R is equals to 0, meaning there is no more current source resistance that is connected here. No, it's just simply a conductive device. Okay, while R is infinity, meaning this is basically an open circuit. No, so on this part, no, or on this part, so it's open circuit, and therefore dili siya pwede, no, for source transformation. Okay, so here determine IO using source transformation. Right, so what are we going to do? So notice that there is already this current source that is connected in parallel with your 6 ohm resistor, and in this case you also have two resistors, 1 and 4 ohms, connected in series, which are in parallel with your 3 ampere current source. Okay, so what we do is simply to use Ohm's law, not in order to convert from current source to voltage source. So say for example here you have 6 ohms and 5 amperes. So your voltage is equals to I times R. So that would be 6 times 5. Then therefore that is now equal to 30 volts. So your V here will now be equal to 30 volts. But in this case, it is now connected in series with your voltage source. So in this case, so ana na ang iyahang itsura. So minus So this will now be equal to 30 volts. Okay, and you have your 6 amperes connected in series um, with this voltage source. And then you have now here your 3 ampere, 3 ohm, what do you call this? 3 ohm na resistor. Okay, so then after which, to take note that you already have, or so para mas simpler siya, what you do is to, since this all of these are connected in parallel, then you can move 3 amperes here no, on this side, and then therefore you now have two resistors, 6 and 3 ohms connected in parallel. Okay, so let's erase this. Erase pen. So ato siyang i-simplify further. So we now have 6 ohms connected in parallel with your 3 ohms. So this is equal to 6 times 3 is 18 divided by 9 is 2, right? So two resistors that are connected in parallel. So 6 times 3, 18 divided by 9 is 2. So this becomes 2 ohms. Okay? So to make it simpler, now we have, so 2 ohms is 5. So Vs is now equal to I times R. So I is 5 and R is 2. So this is equals to 10 volts. So ang mahitabuan na is we now have here plus minus 10 volts. Then we have here a resistor. So this time it's already 2 ohms. Okay. And then we have this combination connected in parallel, in series with the 5-volt source. Okay. So take note that the polarity here no, of your voltage source no, agrees no, with the direction of the current. No? So the arrow points no, towards the positive terminal of your voltage source. So in the same way, so here, before that, no, in order to determine that the current no, across the 7 ohm resistor, then we have to leave it intact. No? Kinahanglan ato na siyang i-leave alone. Okay? So here no, we have on this side no, of the circuit, we have 1 and 4 connected in series. So we simply change this into 5. Okay, so this is 5 ohms. Okay, so 5 ohms na ang ihang equivalent. Just a note, no, that before answering, no, wala na to siya gi-analyze further, no. Dapat ato siyang i-analyze further before answering ang ato ang circuit. Okay? So take note that just like resistors and resistors that are connected either in series or parallel, that you can get the combination of this, no, of the resistors and the resistors connected either in series or parallel. In the same way that you can also combine sources. Okay, you can combine sources. However, you have to take note of the polarities of these sources. Say, for example, this one, no, what we did here, you have 10 volts and 5 volts, and then a 2 ohm resistor here. We could actually combine 10 volts and 5 volts together. Okay, but take note of the polarity. So since here, since they have the same polarity, no, the direction, the location of the positive terminal is on the right side, no, kung ato ni siyang ibutang dire, it is on the right side of the on your right side. Okay, the same goes for your 5 volts. Both of them are on the right side. So therefore, pwede na to na siya i-erase, no? We can combine both. So we simply add no this voltage sources. Okay? So ato na po siyang i-erase. Erase pen. Okay? So what we now have here is 15-volt source connected in series no, with your 2 ohm resistance. Okay? And then we have here your 7 ohms where IO passes. Okay? So, then nato diri atong 3 ohm at 3 ampere, and then we have 5 ohm here. Okay? So notice that we can still convert this 15-volt source and 2 ohm into a what do you call this, into a current source, no, since they are connected in series. Okay, so in order to do that, then therefore what we do, again, we use Ohm's law, no, V is equals to I times R, but this time we're going to solve for I. So I is equals to V over R. So that is 15 divided by 2. So this is equal to 7.5 amperes. Okay? So 7.5 amperes na siya. So, therefore, so let's erase this. Take note of the values. So, and take note of the polarity. Okay, so we have plus, minus. No. This is current already, no? So, but anyway, that was the direction or the polarity of your voltage source earlier. So, dapat may ano na siya. And this is equal to 7.5 ampere connected in parallel with your 2 ohm resistance. Okay? So, na po siya. And then we have your 7 ohms. And this is IO flowing here. Okay? And you have your 3 ohm, 3 ampere source connected in um, parallel with the 5 ohm resistor. So if we inspect the circuit, the resulting circuit, all of these branches are now connected in parallel. Okay? So if they're connected in parallel, especially the sources, then therefore we can now combine these sources together. No? Take note of the direction of the current. So both of them are both of these sources, current sources are pointing upwards. So therefore you can simply add those. Okay? All right. So let's erase this again. So we add 3 and 7.5. So that will be 10.5. Erase. Okay, so the resulting circuit will now be 10.5 amperes connected in parallel with your 2 ohm resistance, 7 ohm resistance where current IO flows. Okay, and then you have your 5 ohm resistor here. So in this circuit, we can now see that we can just make use of current division in order to solve for IO. But take note, current division is applicable only to 2 resistors that are connected in parallel. Okay? Or is it? No? So let's just check no, kung tama atong answer. No? So this is now 2 times 5 is 10 divided by 7. So kato na itong gamiton. So this is now 10.5 amperes. Then this is now your 7 ohm. Okay. Where your IO is passing. And then here, no, we have 2 times 5 is 10 divided by 7. So this is 10 over 7 ohms. Okay. So using your current division formula, then to solve for IO, IO is equals to 10.5 divided times 10 over 7 divided by 10 over 7 plus 7. So what is this value here? Okay, anyone? What's the magnitude of your IO? Hello?
1.77, sir.
Ano yan?
1.77.
1.77?
Yes, sir.
78. Repeating ang
78, sir.
7. Okay, so 1.78 amperes. Okay, so let's check now if we can use the same for ano ni siya? Kanang 3 resistors, no? Kung 3 resistors in parallel, kung magawas mo ng 1.78. Okay? So, IO, this is just checking no, if we can apply current division in 3 resistors connected in parallel. This may not arrive at the correct answer. Okay? So, 10.5, no, wala mong guta kabalo no, if you're going to use 2 or 5. Di ba? Sa ano man god sa what do you call this? Sa two resistors connected in parallel, we use the other resistor, no, where the current in question is not passing through. Okay? So, dili siya dito. So, dili, we don't know, are we going to use 5? Are we going to use that 2? Diba? So, let's say we use both. So, wala man ni siya nahatag dito sa atuang unsa na siya. So, that would be 10. Hindi. 2 plus 5. So, this would be 2 plus 7 plus 5. So, what's the answer? What I answer? Hello? So, what's the answer here? Is it 1.78?
Sir, unsa nang sa baba, sir?
2 plus 7 plus 5.
5.25, sir.
So, dili siya maka-answer,
5.25,
no?
sir.
So, you cannot use that using, you cannot, gusto ka ni? Kanang current division is only applicable to two resistors connected in parallel. Okay? Kaya kung i-multiply pa nimo ning duha sa taas, mas madako ang iyahang value. Right? So, not 1.78. So, let's check if we will arrive at the same unsa ni siya kanang answer using nodal analysis. No, let's just check no, if we can arrive at the same answer. Okay, so let's if the answer is really 1.78, I myself I'm not sure no if the answer is 1.78, but let's just check no, using unsa ni siya using nodal analysis. So this is one node here, and you have another node here. No, this one we just consider as a series combination, and we have a what do you call that? This is your super node.
Per node, sir.
Okay, so that's a super node. So if this is V1 and this here is V2, then therefore V1 times 1 over 6 plus 1 over 3. Okay, wala na no? No resistors that are connected in adjacent ano siya, non-reference node. Okay, current entering is minus. So minus 5. Okay, so that is for V1 and for V2. So plus V2 times 1 over 7 plus 1 over 5. Okay? And then 3 amperes is also entering, so that is equal to that is minus 3. This is equal to 0. So what is the LCD here? What's the LCD? 6375.
30, sir.
30 sa
30,
7?
sir.
35, sir.
Sorry,
Ah,
sir.
hindi.
Akala ko 3.
Yes, 6375. Multiply na tanan. Di ba?
210,
Para,
sir.
ha? Pila ang iyang ano?
200,
What's else? Ano yan?
210.
210? Basta, ana siya. So, V1 times, kung ang imuha diri is 6, if this is multiplied by 6 times 3 times 7 times 5. Right? Yun ang pinakamadali. So, this becomes 3 times 7 times 5 plus 6 times 7 times 5 minus 5 times 6 times 3 times 7 times 5. Ito lang manumanuhon. Plus V2 times 6 times 3 times 5 plus 6 times 3 times 7. Okay? Tanggalan nato ni siya diri minus 5 sa himo na to yung 8. Okay? This is equal to 0. Unsay answer ana? No dako ka siya nga value. Right? And then plus minus, i-simplify this plus minus. Okay? So that will be our KVL equation. Okay, and this is V1 and this is V2. Okay, so this is equation 1. V2 is, what is that? V1 plus 5 minus V2 is equal to 0. Okay? So that is our second equation. So using these two equations, check whether the answer is equal to 1.78. Ato na ta nag-simplify, no? 6 times 3 is 18.
630, sir.
Ano sa?
Ang 6 times 3. 6 times 3 times 7 times 5.
O, kanina lang dito sa obos i-check if that is correct. Okay, 2, 2, 7, and 5. Sa 2, 7, and 5, mas gamay siya. So what is V2? So our aim here is to solve for V2. Because IO is just equals to V2 over 7. Ada? This is minus V1 plus V2 is equals to 5. Okay, anybody? Is the answer still 1.78? So example number 2. Okay. So use source transformation to determine IX. Right? So just like I've told earlier, that you have to leave, no, the branch, no, where the parameter in question is ano siya, is present. Okay, so here we can transform this 5 ohm resistor and 2 ix into ano siya, into a current source. Okay, into a current source. So therefore, if we transform that, so I is equals to V over R, so that is equal to 2Ix divided by 5. Okay? So resulting circuit will look like this. So the direction of your current is now going downward because initially we have this polarity, where the positive terminal of your voltage source is here, no, at the bottom. Okay, right. So this becomes 2Ix over 5. Okay, and this is 5 ohms, and this is 10 ohms, where your Ix is passing. Okay, so this is 4. So how are you going to solve that? You can combine. We just leave this 10 ohm resistor alone, but we can combine 2Ix and 5, right? So in that case, if we consider this as a positive direction, ng kaning 4 na to, 4 amperes, then therefore, ang kanin siya is a negative direction. So negative ni siya nga current 3. Okay? And therefore, that becomes a combined current of 4 minus 2Ix over 5. Now with this one here as your Ix. And this is 10 ohms. And this is 5 ohms. Okay? So, solving Ix is equal to 4 minus 2Ix over 5 times 5 divided by 10 plus 5. So what is your Ix? This is just algebra. So 10 plus 5, so that becomes 15 Ix. Right? So 15 Ix is equal to, so that this becomes 20 minus 2Ix over 5 times 5. 5 cancels out. So 15, again, 15 Ix minus 20 minus 2Ix. So Ix, I combine. So this becomes 17. Ix minus, is equals to 20. So Ix is equals to 20 over 17 amperes. Okay? Check. Take note na 20 over 17 amperes. So let's erase this and check using nodal analysis. Node 1, node 2. V1 times 1 over 10 plus 1 over 5 minus, take note the this one here, no? So if this is V1 and this is V2, then this is V2 over 5. Okay? So that's V2 over 5. Wala na. And that is equal to 0. Okay? Ay, napay ano? Napay 4 amperes. Wait. Erase. So V1 times 1 over 10 plus 1 over 5 minus V2 over 5 minus 4 is equal to 0. So that is our equation 1. Okay, and our equation 2, or simplifying, multiply by 10. So this is V1 times, saan siya? 1 plus 2 minus 2V2 minus 40. Correct? So this is 10 over 10 is 1, 10 over 5 is 2, 10 over 5 here is 2, 10 times 4 is 40, that is equal to 0. So 3V1 is 2V2 minus 40 is equals to 0. So this is our equation number 1. At V2, so this is V1 and this is V2. So at V2, V2 is equals to negative 2ix. Now take note of the polarity of your voltage source. So this is negative 2ix. Okay? So, and we'll just use this no, to sana siya? Kanang simplify it further. No? So, Ix is equals to V1 over 10. Okay? So, 3 V1, ano yun? Nawala na ko. Then, therefore, V1 is equals to 10Ix. V1 is equals to 10Ix. So, 3 times 10Ix minus V2 times 2 times minus 2Ix minus 40 is equals to 0. So, ilan na siya? 30 minus, so this is 30Ix minus, this is 2Ix, right? No? 2Ix. So that is minus is plus, no? So plus 4Ix minus 40. So this is 34Ix is equals to 40. Then Ix is equal to, yun na to, 40 over 34 amperes. So simplify, divide by 2. This is 20 over 17 Ix, which is the same with the one that we solved earlier. Correct? Tama? Diba 20 over 17 to ganina?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is 20 over 17. So this just shows that you can kani magud murag ano murag oversimplify magud kayo ang iyahang ano no ang iyahang circuit, then murag di na magmatter kung gamitan ba nimo siya nodal analysis or kanang diretso or gamitan nimo siya og source transformation. Okay, but you will appreciate this more na if mas complex ang circuit. no? So kung mas complex ang circuit, then therefore mas ano siya, you can simplify it further. You can actually solve for the parameters, no, in question in the circuit by either by using source transformation and unsa ni siya, kanang katong voltage division or current division. Okay? So mas ano siya, mas dali siya in that case. Ano na po? Daghan na ba ani atong mga source transformation determine Ix. So kamo na bahala na. Okay? So